People think productivity is grit. They're wrong. What you call discipline is usually just willpower bleeding out. Here's the secret. The ultra-productive don't out-will you, they out-design you. They build tiny traps and cheat codes that make focus feel effortless. And yes, this works even if your mind jumps rooms like a squirrel on espresso. Imagine doing more in 1 hour than most people accomplish all week. Imagine feeling guilty for wasting time because your systems are that clean. That's not bragging, it's engineered. Over the next few minutes, I'll give you the exact rules to weaponize your attention. The things to ban, the triggers to install, the pressure you secretly need, and the tiny rituals that flip the switch to flow. But here's the twist most creators won't tell you. It's not about working harder. It's about making the wrong choices impossible. Ready to make productivity feel illegal? Start by promising me one thing. You will do the first tiny rule on this list right after this video. No arguments, no excuses. First, make a not to-do list. Ever wonder why some people get more done by doing less? Here's the twist. Productivity isn't about doing more. It's about deciding what not to do. Most people flood their day with decisions, tiny tasks, and distractions, thinking that activity equals progress. But every yes to the wrong thing is a no to your goals. Imagine your brain as a funnel. Every decision that doesn't matter clogs it, steals your energy, and slows you down. That's why the most productive people create a not-to-do list. It's simple but revolutionary. Instead of listing what you should do, list the things that drain your focus, waste your time, or sabotage your energy. It could be mindless scrolling, low-value tasks, toxic people, or habits that make you feel temporarily good but long-term empty. Think about it like clearing the clutter from a desk. You can't work efficiently in chaos. The Plinko analogy applies here. If your focus is a ball, remove all the unnecessary pins in its path so it hits the center every single time. Every no you give is a direct investment in your future self. Write down 3 things you will absolutely stop doing this week. Treat them like non-negotiables. Not tomorrow, not later, today. Start shrinking the mental noise and watch your focus explode. Remember, success is subtractive, not additive. You win by cutting the wrong options, not by adding more to your plate. Second, create focus triggers. Struggling to get into the zone? Here's the secret. Flow state isn't random, it's designed. Most people wait for inspiration, but the most productive create triggers that force their brain into focus. Your environment, your seat, even the music you play can become a signal it's time to work. Think of it like Pavlov's dogs. Your brain learns that certain cues equal deep focus. Some use headphones with binaural beats, others set a dedicated workspace, or follow a strict pre-work ritual. Even small cues, like a morning coffee at the same table, can prime your mind to ignore distractions. The point is, don't leave focus to chance. Manufacture it. Pick one ritual or trigger and stick to it for the next 3 days. Watch how quickly your brain associates it with getting in the zone. When done consistently, these triggers turn into automatic switches. You won't fight distractions, you'll train your brain to ignore them. Soon, focus becomes effortless, habitual, unstoppable. And next, start on hard mode. Most people start with the easy stuff, thinking it will build momentum. Here's the twist. Real focus comes from tackling the hardest task first. Easy wins feel good, but they don't fuel growth. They're dessert before the main course. When you hit your hardest challenge early, your brain engages fully, confidence skyrockets, and the rest of the day feels effortless by comparison. Think of it like lifting weights. Start with the heavy lift, and every smaller movement afterward becomes lighter. The key is to identify your one thing, the task that, if completed first, makes everything else easier or unlocks massive progress. Stop letting low-priority tasks steal your energy. Choose your hardest task and commit to completing it first thing tomorrow morning. No distractions, no excuses. Hard mode isn't punishment, it's the shortcut to focus, flow, and insane productivity. Once you master it, you'll notice a momentum shift so powerful, easy tasks feel trivial, and your energy reserves stretch further than ever before. 4. Be hard to reach. Distractions are the silent killers of focus. Every notification, every unplanned message, every interruption chips away at your energy. The most productive people make themselves hard to reach. They control when and how others can access them. This isn't arrogance, it's strategy. By turning off notifications, scheduling dedicated response times, or creating do not disturb zones, you reclaim your attention for what truly matters. Even temporary isolation, like going off-site or working in a quiet space, can supercharge your output. Think of it as creating a fortress around your focus. Every boundary you set protects your energy like a shield. Identify one distraction you will block or one boundary you will enforce. Whether it's muting apps, closing your office door, or scheduling a 2-hour deep work block, make it non-negotiable. Once you do, you'll notice your productivity and clarity skyrocket. Being hard to reach doesn't just protect time, it forces your brain into flow and ensures your energy is spent only on what moves the needle. 5. Turn up the pressure. Deadlines can either stress you out or fuel unstoppable focus. Most people give themselves too much time, letting work stretch endlessly. Here's the twist. Shorter timelines force your brain to perform at peak intensity. Think of moving out with 3 days instead of 3 months. You'd act decisively, ignore distractions, and execute flawlessly. You can create this pressure for yourself. Set tighter deadlines, raise the stakes, make your commitments non-negotiable. When consequences are real, your brain sharpens, prioritizes, and eliminates wasted energy. Pick one task and cut its timeline in half. Notice how urgency forces clarity and momentum. Pressure isn't punishment, it's a turbo boost for your productivity. When you learn to control it, deadlines become allies and your output transforms. This is how the world's most productive people push limits without burning out. They turn pressure into their secret weapon. Next, number 6, train your algorithm. Your brain can be your ally, or it can be hijacked by distractions. Social media, apps, and notifications are designed to steal your attention. But here's the secret. You can train the algorithm to work for you instead of against you. Curate your feed, engage only with content that teaches or inspires, and remove anything that wastes mental energy. Leave comments, search intentionally, follow creators who push you forward. Every action signals your brain to prioritize growth. The more you feed it with purpose, the less it pulls you into endless loops of mindless scrolling. And 7, design your perfect week. Most people let their days happen to them, hopping from task to task without a plan. The most productive design their week around energy, not just time. Start by identifying your non-negotiables, the big rocks that move the needle in life and work. Then theme your days, one for strategy, one for creative work, one for meetings. Batch similar tasks together to reduce mental switching. And schedule tasks based on when your energy is at its peak. The goal is to create a rhythm that your brain learns to follow, making deep work automatic and distractions less tempting. 8. Gamify your work. Boredom kills focus faster than distraction ever could. The trick? Make progress visible. Just like video games, life becomes addictive when you can see your wins stacking up.
Track streaks, set milestones, and celebrate small victories. Every call made, every task completed, every page written. Turn it into a visual cue of momentum. Your brain thrives on measurable progress, and seeing it fuels motivation naturally. Work isn't just about grinding, it's about creating a system that rewards consistency. And 9. Manage your energy. Energy fuels focus, not just motivation. Most people wait to feel ready, but the most productive create their own energy. Start by exhausting the body to sharpen the mind. Exercise, movement, even a short burst of activity resets focus instantly. Pair this with routines that ramp up energy proactively. Morning rituals, pre-work rituals, or intentional breaks that recharge rather than distract. Pick one physical activity or energy ritual and commit to it before starting your most important task. Notice how your focus deepens and your brain locks in. Energy management isn't about being busy, it's about aligning your mind and body to perform at peak levels. When done consistently, you'll move through work with clarity, avoid burnout, and make decisions faster. The secret? Treat energy as a resource to guard and cultivate. Protect it, amplify it, and your productivity becomes unstoppable. And last, find your flow. Flow isn't an accident, it's a doorway you build. Most people wait for the right mood, but here's the twist. Flow appears after you start, not before. Begin with a tiny action, one sentence, one email, one step, and your brain shifts from resistance into momentum. Remove friction, clear your desk, close tabs, silence noise. Then, anchor yourself with a repeatable ritual that tells your mind, we're entering deep work now. Flow is simply your brain focusing on one thing without interruption, long enough to forget everything else. Create a 2-minute pre-flow ritual. Maybe it's deep breathing, a timer, music, or clearing your workspace. Do it before your next task. Watch how quickly your mind locks in. When you learn to create flow on command, productivity stops being effort and becomes instinct. You stop fighting distractions and start moving like someone whose work is inevitable. You now have the tools to work at a level most people can't even imagine. But tools mean nothing unless you use them. Pick one strategy today and commit to it for the next 24 hours. Because productivity isn't luck, it's who you decide to become now.